Hello, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Elven Dragon. The last episode, we went and built up a bit of a bridge here to transport all of our excess stone over to our excess stone storage. And we also built up two more layers of our storage system. Well, more like 1.25 based on the number of chests to store all of our ores and our mob drops. And since then, we've been busy digging out more of this area. Managed to get the entire side that we've been working on done. Just need to work on the other side, at least getting that down to Y0 before we start moving this all the way over to the final depth. And I have to say, this path has been working quite well. Really like how this is all turning out. And now everything is sorted. We've pretty much gotten everything down to our little extra storage of double chests for stuff that isn't sorted. And I'm quite happy with how all that turned out. We do still have several blocks that don't have storage in here, like stone bricks and stuff like that. But I need to work on how I want to store those. But today, what I'm thinking is that we are going to take these very undecorated areas and we're going to decorate them and probably also finish them off with the ones that need to have the crafters put on them to craft stuff down automatically. But first, I think we're going to start with decorating up this bridge. Now, right now, what we have is we have this very nice oak bridge connects our two islands together. And what I'm thinking is that probably not going to use oak. Will you leave this so that we don't have to redo the rail line for right now? What I'm thinking is that we're going to do stone brick. Now we've got a few mossy cobble and cracked stone bricks to give this a little bit of texture and make it look a little bit more worn. I think we're probably going to use a lot of the mossy stone bricks in this, and that's basically going to serve as our bridge. Now on top of that, what I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to put in a bit of a couple walls, just so we kind of have a path here marked out. But I think we're going to stick with a 3x3. Might do is we might mix in a bit of cobblestone and mossy cobble on the sides, just so that we have that as well. I think for the top and for the, at least for the main platform here, we're just going to stick with stone bricks. Now, railing, again, we might do mossy cobble and regular cobble mixed into that as well. Not quite sure. But for now, we need to get this in. And then for the sides here, what I'm thinking is we're going to do double arch for this. So we'll have one arch going off here. So I think we're going to do a 5-block arch, essentially. I think that's what's going to look best. And then below it, we're going to have another layer of arches. It'll be a bit taller. And then we'll have our islands off of that. Should be good. That should be good to support the bridge here. We need to just build it in regular first before we start adding in a lot of the ruined stuff. Start mixing some of the texture in right now, but that's what I'm thinking we're going to do to this. So there we go. There's one layer. I think we'll just do that, and then we'll do the next layer down off of that and go from there. So it's just going to be the same arch lowered down blocks, and I think that'll look good. So I'm going to go and finish building up this bridge, get the arches all in, get the walls all in, and then I'll be right back. And there we go. We now have the bridge in. I'm thinking that these pillars down here need to go down a few more blocks just to give them a little bit more height. I just kept them kind of the same as what we had on top here. And maybe we need to mix in some stairs and a bit of gravel, maybe a bit of cobblestone into this whole thing too, just to give it more of a ruined look. And figure out how we're going to do top there. We might actually switch those planks out for more stone bricks. Not quite sure yet, but I'm really liking this design here. Might have to use this pattern elsewhere in a building or something. But right now we have the stone transport in. Thinking something similar for the other three bridges once we actually get those set up and in. And the next thing that we have is decorating our main storage. So now the outside casing of this, I've already got a little bit marked out here, basically mostly where we're gonna have issues with other islands that are just a little bit close. Right over here, I still actually have to get this marked out so we know how this is going to indent a little bit here. But for that part, I'm waiting until we actually get the rest of the redstone pit here dug out all the way down to the bottom. And that means that for right now, we're going to be focusing on the inside, which means cave ceilings, cave floors, staircases leading between the different levels, and figuring out all of that. So we've got the one staircase in here, basically leads between our stone layer and our first plant layer, which connects up to our main portal cave. And the other three layers are still more or less unconnected. Basically, we can get up to the top layer via scaffolding pillar, and the bottom two we just have to glide down to. And I think that's probably where we're going to start, is getting a walkable path down to those layers and up to the other one. And I think since we've already got the staircase in here, we'll focus on getting the cave in on the third layer. Actually, this is what this is. First layer that we built, third layer in the entire pillar. So I think that is probably a good place to start this. All right, and there we go. We now have a full staircase connecting the bottom layer here, or what's currently the bottom layer, because I think there's going to be one more below this, going all the way up to, well, not quite the top just yet. We still have to put in the last staircase on top. Kind of waiting on that for a little bit. Need to figure out where I want to put it. Since these ones are basically just a hollow pillar with the staircase in the middle, while as the top one, we have the top of our main portal cave here that we need to connect up and figure out how we're going to put the staircase. Now, we did start doing a little bit of work up here. We need to mix in some of the andesite into the outer ring here as well. But you can see that we've started getting some of the cave stuff for going along the path here. We had this part here already to hide the hopper pillar for the sorting system, but we've gone and added a little bit more here. I love how this turned out. At least this little section here for this turn. It really feels like a bit of a cave. We need to extend this out and over so we have this as the entrance. And we need to keep bringing this down. Now, I've started working on some of the little cave sections here. Like you can see here, we've got a bit of a wall in here, and we've got a little bit all the way at the bottom where we kind of started doing that. Now, I don't want to work on the bottom section again because I think we're going to have another layer, and I don't want to have to figure out how we're going to do the staircase down from that after we already have the wall in. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this layer up here, maybe some on the bottom here too, but I want to focus mostly on this section. And for that, what that's going to entail is basically going to kind of bring the stone and over so that we basically don't see any of the hoppers here. So we'll have a stone layer that extends from somewhere about here, maybe 1/2 block up on this top chests, and then basically kind of goes up a little bit, maybe meets up with this for a little bit. I'm not quite sure. Might dip down for a bit as well. The easiest place to start would be actually right about here, where we already have some of these stairs and stuff here in. So something like this. Might need to look at how this is gonna work again because we have the chests here. I don't want to block those from opening. I think if we do that, nope, that does not block them from opening. Okay. Well, that gives us something to play with. I think if we do that, though, it'll look a little bit better because we won't have as big of a gap. But it's just something that we have to play around with. And it's all going to be general illusion of the area. And I think much of this is going to be kind of just made to look like a cave. We can't even actually reach those top chests anyway, so it should be fine even if we can't actually open them. But let's take a look at how this looks from down below. I think that might actually be fine like that. Just do that and go around like that. We'll have to do something with some of these blocks here, but that is what we need to play around with. Now, one thing I thought about doing is figuring out how to do some sort of little pool, kind of like cascades down between the layers if we just want a quick drop down. I think that might actually be really nice. Really hope we can get that to work because I just think it'll be really nice to just have a nice little kind of waterfall going through here. Just need to figure out where we're gonna put it. There's not a whole lot of space here. Maybe like right in here and then cascade down to over there, right underneath the staircase here. So if we bring our stone out through here, maybe something right in this area here. Just have a nice little shallow pool right through here. And then like right over here, it'll kind of cascade down, something like that. Something to play around with. It's an idea. And I think that'd be actually be a lot of fun to have that just as a little water feature here. Again, might need to make it a little bigger here, but and that's what we're just playing around with this for. So I'm gonna go and get a little bit more of the walls here in, get some of the detailing in. I like this. Basically, I want to make more of this. So I'm gonna go work on that, and then we'll be right back. All right, and there we go. We now have a cave fully around our little storage area here. Don't have the corners in, but we'll get that sorted out later. It's really just putting a block of stone all the way down through here, which we're gonna have to do anyway. And then on the back, you'll still presumably be able to see the hoppers a little bit. That's fine. We'll have stone on the other side anyway, because we're still gonna have to put in the outside ring. So I think this is as good as we're gonna get right now. On this side here, I really like how this turned out. This gets all the way up to the floor of our main room upstairs, which is really nice. I like this little center spire, which we have the staircase in. It's turned out really nice. I love how this all turned out. Might need to mix in a little bit of mossy cobble into here just to give it a little bit of color because it's very, very gray. So I think a little bit of mossy cobblestone will work nicely. And we did actually get a little waterfall in. So this now flows into a small little pool down here on the fourth layer here, which again has nothing much here. Doing the wall around the water here is going to be interesting with the staircase right through here, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. And again, we need to get that wall in as well. But quite happy with how all this has turned out so far. Again, we still have more walls to do, but those will just come in time. Right now, we now have two caves on our big storage and central area here, which is quite nice. Again, still need to do the dripstone and all of the glow lichen, which is just going to take some time. We need more dripstone. I think we've only got about half a stack left of that. And the glow lichen, we can always just fire up the farm and get more from that. But for now, I think that's probably going to be good. I've been struggling a little bit trying to work in this area a little bit more because we've gotten all of our main farms done. So pretty much everything that we already had in here, the most part now has an island and everything else. We got a few more decorations in with the different gem trees that we've been adding in, but for the most part, what we've gotten in so far already is done. There's a few things down lower that still need islands, like the moss farm, the coral farm, and the vine farm. Those we kind of need to just keep digging down the redstone pit so that we actually have space for those. But trying to plan anything new after that has been a little difficult because in every other area we've done, we've gotten all of our paths laid out and our groundwork, everything else. And we've kind of just ignored that here, in part because we already had a whole bunch of the farms already in, but also because this area is a lot more three-dimensional. Before, again, we could just set up the paths, use those to divide up the area, break it into smaller chunks. We can't really do that here. This is kind of just one big area that we have to work with in figuring out the pathing. And I'm thinking that we're going to move forward with this area. We might have to go and start doing some planning with that. I'm hoping that'll help me figure out what to do with this area a little bit better. Again, I'm liking how this is turning out. It's definitely great. I'm really liking all the islands and stuff. But we need to get the paths in, I think. We need to start doing some more planning. And I'm hoping that'll help get this area a little bit better organized. When we started this area, there was a bunch of emerald blocks all around. Those were marking out where the various farms were going to go. So there were some around the chicken farm there. Yes, that is actually a chicken egg farm in here. Have no chickens, but we have eggs. I think we got rid of the chickens because we had too many eggs. But when we built up the melon and pumpkin farm island, we still had the emerald blocks marking out where that was going to go. So I think what we need to do is we need to go and we need to do a bit of marking out of stuff. But I think we'll wait and do that next time, just so we can kind of work through our plans, figure out how we're going to do everything, and go from there. So with that, I think that is where we're going to end things for today. So thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I love how this area is turning out. Gotten so much done. But again, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more. What is going on in this area and in the rest of this world? And I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.